Hello, everyone, and welcome to the new episode of Entrepreneurship Lab. This is your host, Nevin Abajalax, welcoming you once again to the podcast where we help you grow and scale your business. And today, this episode, we're talking about a very important topic, and that is investing. In order to grow your wealth, to create financial freedom you want, and even to grow your business, you have to understand and learn basics of investing. And your goal should be to become an investor. We're going to talk about that. And the inspiration for this episode came after running the webinar called Beginner Guide to Investing. And there were so many of you that loved it, that got benefit from it. And there were so many of you that couldn't join to the live webinar. And I decided to make this topic and talk about it in my podcast as a podcast episode. So, first question I have for you is what is stopping you from investing? Or what are some thoughts that you have when it comes to investing? Because a lot of us are actually having this word maybe not familiar to us, or maybe very strange to us, or maybe seems very far away from where we are financially. And these are some of the beliefs I want to help you break today and help you really start understanding their different type and ways to invest and why you should do it and why you have to do it actually for yourself, for your future, for your children, families, and just to enjoy your life in general more. And there is a fact, if you don't take risk, you will never move forward. And I think 90 something percent of people for sure are afraid of taking risks. And not taking a risk, in my experience, in my opinion, is the biggest risk of all. So taking small calculated risks is much better than staying in your comfort zone where you're just not growing, where you are not growing towards something or developing something, because we're going to talk about biggest enemy of money today and how and why you need to do these things for your future. Okay. So let's talk about some reasons why you haven't started investing yet, or why most people don't start investing. First of all, a lot of you is believing you don't know how to do it. And this is a couple of things we're going to cover today. And just to share you different ways and different types of investing. Then a lot of people believe that they don't have enough money. We believe in order to become an investor and invest, we need huge capital and large sums of cash, which is not necessarily true because there are a variety of different type of investments you can make. And a very big one that's stopping people is fear of losing money. People have that fear to take risk. And I heard from very successful entrepreneurs that saving made nobody rich. So yes, you should have savings. However, saving will never make you rich. So you have to jump into certain things and you have to start investing in order to get that return. A lot of people are also focused on short term. So people are just wanting to enjoy their life, or they're telling themselves, oh, I only live once. So they're justifying their spending today instead of investing and building something in the future. And another thing is like a lot of people are not willing to sacrifice now for the future. And this is why there's not so many successful entrepreneurs and not so many successful investors, because in order to have a successful and happy future and build something and have something different than what is your reality today, you have to sacrifice something now, okay? So you can have it in tomorrow. A lot of people are also waiting for the perfect timing. They're looking, oh, there are wars happening in the world. Who's going to be the next president of this country, of that country? I'm going to start next year, January 1st. How many of you made New Year resolutions and then you never stuck to them? So there is no perfect time, right? I do believe that there is things sometimes happen at the perfect time. You're in the right place when you're looking. And we're going to talk about that today, because you have to start by setting a goal and deciding that you want to invest and you want to change something, right? A lot of people also believe that they have to know everything. They have to know and predict the future, and you cannot predict the future. And in order to win, you're going to also have to lose sometimes, but there's going to be risks, but you have to make calculated risks. You have to see what is the worst case scenario, best case scenario, and what is the most probable reality in order to invest. And one of the things that I think really bothers me a lot is that most of the people listen to advice of people that are not investors. Okay. So do never ever take advice, whichever area of life is, from a person that does not have results that you want to have. And that's something I live by every single day. And it's just if somebody's trying to give me advice, I always look, okay, is this person having success in that area that I want? If yes, I'm gonna listen to that. If they don't, then I'm not gonna listen to that. Okay, so that is the couple of reasons what's stopping you, and maybe you will connect with some more than others. But you have to break your beliefs and you have to make a decision to invest or start by learning more about investing. And that's why we are here today. So, what is investing in general, right? Investing is a process where you allocate money or resources into assets or some projects or ventures with expectation they're going to generate profit or achieve return over time. Yes? So our goal in investing is to grow wealth and generate income by taking certain amount of risks. So when we invest, we put our money to work for us instead of us working for our active income. Yes, and then there are different type of investing we're going to talk about today, like stocks, bonds, real estate, or even starting a business is an investment, or acquiring a piece of a business as well. So in the process of investing, there are certain key aspects. We have capital growth, which means that you want from that investment earn later on when you sell that investment, you want to earn certain amount of money. And that's called capital gain or capital growth. It's going to grow in value basically over time. Then also, key aspect of investing can be income generation. You invest in something that's going to generate certain money or income for you. There is also risk and reward. So, risk and reward is a key aspect of investing because without taking a risk, you cannot expect the reward, right? Staying in your comfort zone, like I said, will take you nowhere. And then we have time horizon, which means there are different type of investing based on how fast and when you want to get your returns. So you have to understand these key aspects as well. So before I start talking a little bit more about types of investing, I want to just explain what is asset and what is liability. So this is very important to go back to the basics, to basic definitions, so you understand these things so you can actually move forward. So asset is everything that's putting money in your pocket, and liability is anything that's taking money out of your pocket. There are certain things that can be at some point asset, at some point liability. Like if you have a luxury car, as long as you are driving it, it's probably costing you money. But when you sell it, if it's, let's say, an antique car or a car that's going up in value, it's gonna become an asset, right? Although it was liability, it was costing you money for service, for insurance. Most of the cars are liability, they're not assets. And the way you can use this as an asset is you can use the vehicle for as a taxi or as a part of your business to use it to help you generate the money. And then it's an asset. Or if it grows in value, most of the cars depreciate in value. House that you live in, if you just live in it, it's a liability unless you decide to sell it, and then you decide to sell it, and then you receive the capital gain. So you bought it for, let's say, $200,000 and you sold it now for $320,000. That means you got that capital gain over years. But you only get that when you sell it. As long as you live in it, you're paying your bills, you're paying repairs. It's constantly costing you money. So it's a liability. So these are just two examples, but you can go through anything and see and really understand the difference of the asset and liability, so you can start thinking how I can buy more of the assets, right? So, what are some things and assets we can buy? You can buy a piece of real estate. This can be a land, this can be project in construction, or this can be a ready project, right? You can acquire and buy a business, full business or parts of business, be an investor and have your piece in it. Then you can buy stocks. Stocks are basically pieces of company that are available for public to buy. If you never dealt or you don't know what stocks are, you should definitely learn a bit more. So certain companies can acquire a status or become publicly traded companies, which means that the stocks or the pieces of the companies can belong to the population, to people who are willing to buy. So you can buy and you own, and the company will pay you dividends or parts of the profits based on how much you own of that company. And then bonds are basically a promise of a company or government to pay you money in the future in return of you giving them money today. So you will give $1,000 and you buy a bond, which is a piece of paper, and this company or a government tells you, we guarantee whenever you come in the future, we're gonna pay you back your money. So it's kind of saving in a way, or getting this promise guarantee that you will get that money as well. So to move forward, when it comes to investing, I think it's very important that you guys pause this episode. Unless you're driving, then keep on driving. But write, what is your goal? Do you want to earn additional $1,000 or $10,000 a month? Do you want to, have a bigger amount? So do you want to purchase something and then resell it? What is your goal? Do you want a capital gain? Do you want something for your retirement? Or do you want to replace your current salary and your active income with something that's going to bring you additional income? So your investment journey has to start with your goal. What is your goal? Okay. So, where to start? I want to talk about this for a second because it's very important. And 90 something percent of people do not track their expenses. So, the problem is you cannot invest or allocate part of your money to investing if you don't even know where is your money going or how are you spending this. So, it's very important to track your expenses. Download an app, the spending tracker or any kind of app. I'm doing this for many years, and you will be in shock when you start seeing how much you maybe spend in a salon or eating out, restaurants, buying coffee. And I'm not saying you shouldn't do all of these things, but it's just eye-opening when you start tracking your expenses. It's eye-opening to know where is your money going, and then decide, if I'm spending $200 in restaurants or $500, why don't put that money first into an investment and then sacrifice a little bit, right? Then you can play with your budget. You have to remember, sacrifice today for the future. That's the only way. And I'm not gonna lie to you. And that's why many people do not invest, or they're not willing to invest. So where are we starting investing? First, I want everyone listening to start tracking your expenses. This means you download an app and you can input different categories and you track every single dollar, dirham, dinar, whatever currency you're in, you track it in your expenses, so you can have clear picture, no lies to yourself. You really understand where is your money going. Then you set your goal, like what do you want to have in a year time or 2 years time or 3 years time. Without a goal, you're going to get nowhere. Do you want to buy a property, a house? Do you want to buy a land? Do you want to buy a business? You need to set this goal in order to make it happen. Okay. Then the third step is you're going to start looking for opportunities. You're gonna now, when you have your goal, you're gonna start looking for the land, for investment, for apartment, house, for stocks. You're gonna start reading about it. You're gonna meet people that are doing it. You're gonna ask their experience, and you're gonna learn so much on this journey, and opportunities will start showing up. Okay? And then you have to eliminate the fear. So in order to invest, there's always going to be a certain amount of risks, but it's on you to eliminate this fear in order to start investing. Okay? So I mentioned earlier that there are active income in my talking, I mentioned to you. So there are three types of income. There is active income, passive income, and portfolio income. Active income is income you trade your time for. So I'm going for work or I'm providing certain service or certain products for people and we're receiving active income. Passive income, the idea of passive income is money working for you. So you invested in stocks and they're growing over time, or you invested in real estate, it's growing over time. However, I want you really to understand that there is nothing, really nothing that I came across or spoke with successful people that's 100% passive. Even when you have your stock investments or bonds or your real estate, even if you have Airbnb or you're just buying and flipping or you have a land, it cannot be 100% passive if you wanted to generate income. You're going to have to put some kind of work or hire someone to work on it for you to generate that income. And then we have portfolio income, which is all your paper assets, like we mentioned, stocks, bonds, and so on that you can have as you in your portfolio, right? So all of these things that we mentioned, now start thinking, what is stopping you? I always talk about my MSA method, mindset, system, and action. Is it something in your mindset? Do you have habitual thinking? Do you have a wrong attitude or limiting beliefs? Are you fearing losing money? Are you emotionally investing? You're buying an apartment that's beautiful but makes no sense financially. And this happens all the time. It's very important that your investment decisions are not emotional investment decisions, but they are actually rational and calculated decisions, because at the end of the day, you want that return on investment, right? Or maybe you don't have processes, you don't know how, you don't know regulations, you don't know tax compliances, you have very complex investment plans. You have to simplify things for you to make sure to get there. And then taking action, right? So, many of you have maybe limited financial resources. There's some legalities that's stopping you, technical obstacles. Sometimes investing or buying stocks in certain countries is more complicated than others, but every obstacle is possible to overcome. Okay, so every obstacle is possible to overcome. So let's talk about investing over saving. I mentioned earlier that nobody got rich by saving. Okay, saving money, sure, it's gonna give you some kind of feeling of a nest or safety for emergency, but you will never completely move forward unless you take risks. And I mentioned I'm going to share with you the biggest enemy of money. And I don't know what you think the biggest enemy of money is. Usually in my webinar, I ask these questions, and not many people answered this last time when we had this webinar. And the biggest enemy of money is inflation. Inflation is the rate at which general level of prices for goods and services in an economy raise over time. So as inflation occurs, your purchasing power of money is decreasing, right? So if you had $1,000 today and you're just saving it, tomorrow will be, in 1 year time, will be worth $800, because everything is becoming more and more expensive. So when we invest in assets like stocks, real estate, bonds, they have potential to outpace inflation and to increase our purchasing power over long term. So remember that the biggest enemy of your money is inflation. You should save, but even if you're saving, you want to look for saving accounts that give you ideally 5 to 7% in a bank over time. So your money is not just sleeping and losing money value, because inflation will make it lose value. Your money is also generating something. So you need to find those banks and put your savings in there for the savings, and then invest for the other part. So there's an interesting fact: your investments should generate a minimum of 7% of return on investment. If it's less than 7%, please, there is no sense investing at all. If the business will not generate more than 7%, or your stocks will not generate, then better put the savings, because you have now banks that gives you 5 to 7% just by putting money to save in their bank. So it's better them to find, if you're investing, remember it should generate minimum of 7% of a return. Okay? So we've mentioned there are different type of investing. And let's start by talking about real estate investing, for example. Real estate investing, a lot of people think about apartments, houses, but there are different types how you can invest in real estate. I was also the first one to believe in order to invest in real estate, I need huge amounts of money, and I was wrong. And then I started investing, and then when you start with one, you can grow to another, and so on and so forth. So real estate, there are different type of real estate. You can find a piece of land. Land in most countries, of course, you have to do research, but land also grow in value. So it will give you that capital gain. So owning a piece of land is something that every single person should have. Everyone should own a piece of land. It will increase in value over time. And also it's an asset that you can also build on as well, right? Then we have like a more known to people off-plan or ready properties. Off-plan properties are the properties where developers are building, you're paying them in installments, and as you pay, they're finishing the construction, and then you receive your real estate. Or ready property, of course, something apartment, house, hotel, something that's existing already, and you can move in or start renting it or reselling it right away. Okay. And then there are also types of crowdfunding and syndication, right? Crowdfunding is when there are a group of people that come together, put money in order to purchase real estate, right? We make a syndicate, or we are all participating, and there is legal ways to even own properties like this through different applications, through different legal institutions, right, for crowdfunding, or you can find your own business partners and you guys can put this investment together and fund your project. Okay. And then also you sometimes can earn income from real estate that's not even yours. And this is the model that so many people are using with Airbnbs, right? They sign agreement with the owner. This depends country to country. You have to research the law of the country you're in, but you're basically renting other people properties. People own the property, you sign one lease with them, and then you rent it through Airbnb, and you're making significantly higher amounts of money, and you don't even own the property. So you're just renting other people properties. Very interesting. And it's starting to open your mind that you don't need necessarily huge amounts of money. And like one of my favorite mentors in life and business, Bob Proctor, always said, you don't need money, you have to make a decision. When I purchased my first piece of land, I did not have money, but I made a decision, I'm going to purchase the land. And then the projects came, the clients came, things happened, and I had my land, but I had to make a decision first. So stop stopping yourself by thinking you don't have the money. Just make a decision first, and then everything will happen. Of course, you taking action is necessary as well. And then I talk to you about business investing, right? Very easy way to start investing is owning businesses. So there are different types of investing in business as well. You can run a business, right? You can open and run a business and put all your energy and time into this, which is what a lot of people are doing. They want to replace their jobs with something they're passionate about and they really enjoy. This is one way, so you generate the income. This is, however, active income, and you want to grow this into a company where you are not necessarily anymore working in your business, but the business is running without you. Then you can become a shareholder, right? You can own a piece of company. Either you invest the money, or you can invest your expertise or invest your time, help someone build a business, help bringing the connections, and you just ask for percentage that you own certain amount of shares in this business, yeah? And then owning stocks. You can buy stocks, like I said, of publicly traded companies, and you owning big businesses. And if you did not know, there are different that you can buy individual stocks, let's say of Amazon, Apple, Tesla, and all of these big companies and smaller companies. Or if you want to be on the safe side and your goal is a long-term retirement, then you can go through index fund. Index fund is a um, computer run by a computer system where there are 5,000 most successful companies in the world. So if let's say Amazon is there, Apple is there, Tesla is there, one year one of the companies falls out, it doesn't matter, you are buying into 5,000 most successful companies in the world. So you're just putting amount of money, and has been proven that over a period of 20 to 30 years, always outperforms buying individual stocks. So if you want to be kind of safe and save money and make sure it's growing in value over years, then index funds are a great way for you to go and purchase. And you buying index fund, which means you are buying a little bit of all of these biggest companies in the world because you know they're going to grow their business and their stocks will go up in value as well. And then there are also business loans, right? There are many people that you can loan money to people to start their business, and then you're gonna get your return back. You don't have to necessarily be a shareholder. You can just ask for your money back as right as investor to make sure that make sure that you get your money back and you just invest a little bit and in a short term you can get your money with some of course right with increase in value as well with some commission that let's call it that way. So what is stopping you guys? Have you learned something new in this episode? This is just touching the iceberg, like top of the iceberg, but very important to start thinking and changing your thinking, right? Go and pick up the book on stocks, go pick up a book on real estate, go and find someone that's an investor and ask them how they started. And when you make a decision that you want to invest, it's going to show up because now your brain is formed that way. When you have a goal, it's going to start looking for people that's going to help you for occasions, for places, and it's going to come and happen for you as well. And I also believe, okay, a lot of people love traveling, investing in traveling, which is amazing. And but I would like for you to think about, yes, enjoy your travels, but when you travel, open your mind and see how our business opportunities in different countries, how our investment in different countries, because very often we are stuck in our own country. In real estate, it's very expensive. And traveling is a great way for you to open your horizon and to see that there's so many amazing opportunities out there in the world. And you don't have to necessarily be stuck in one place or invest necessarily in one place. So, are you ready to become an investor? Are you ready to learn more? If yes, go and pick up some of the amazing books. Choose a topic on stocks, choose a topic on bonds or real estate, on buying businesses, and just research some of the amazing books that you can find and start reading the podcast, start meeting the people that are investors so you can become one. And like I said, it's not just about you should become investor. I believe you have to become an investor because that's the only way to avoid the painful future of losing a job, losing your security. We all want security and safety, but in order to create security and safety, you have to be smarter in this game and you have to win the game, know the rules, and play by the bigger rules. So you have to become an investor, diversify in different fields, and this will come to you. Yeah. So thank you guys for listening. This is just like I said, tip of an iceberg. If you want to learn more, if you want to be coached or mentor or consultant on investing, there's a lot of opportunities that I know about. Please feel free to contact me. As you know, Nevena Bajalac on any social media, and contact me and I can help you find your investment. I can guide you through it. I can be your mentor and support in the process as well. And it will be my pleasure. And in the meantime, give us some likes, comments, and hearts for the podcast. Share it with at least one person that can benefit from it. And Yeah, because that's what we are here to educate, to share the message and learn more. Thank you so much for listening, and I will see you in the next episodes. Bye bye, guys.